Hello and welcome to 5 Tech. This is Abbas. In this lesson, we are going to talk about type of instances and pricing difference between instances from different service providers like Amazon, which is AWS, Microsoft, that is Azure, and Google Cloud. So we are going to see the difference between the prices for each instance and the instance type. So before that, let's understand what is a dedicated host, what is reserve instance, what is spot instance, what is on-demand instance. These are different type of instances. Okay, each one has its purpose. So each company or the organization, they choose subject to requirement. And most important part, what you need to understand is which is the most cost saving, cost effective. More and have one more thing in mind. It doesn't mean if it's low price, it's gonna be or if it's reasonable, it's gonna serve your purpose. No, you got to check your requirement because performance is the first thing that you should have in mind. Because based on performance, each instance would cater your need. So this is these are the four things you need to understand: dedicated host, reserved instance, spot instance, on-demand instance. We're going to discuss each instance in brief. All right. So before that, please try to understand each service provider that we have, what they call as virtual machine. Amazon calls it as instance. Microsoft Azure calls it Azure Virtual Machine, and Google Cloud calls it VM instance. So what is dedicated host? Dedicated host is a physical server with EC2 instance capacity fully dedicated to your use. Next, what is that the dedicated host used for? See, it allows the user to or the purpose existing per socket, per core, or per virtual software license, including Windows or any Linux flavor. This is the dedicated host. Next, we have reserved instance. Reserved instance provide you with a significant discount up to 75%. Means you can save 75% of your cost. Okay, compared to on-demand instance pricing. So you got to see. But one more thing, it doesn't mean if it's 75% cost saving, you would like to go for reserve. No. If your requirement needs match on demand, you need to go for on demand. Okay. But if there is a marginal difference between the demand instance and the reserve instance, so please go in for reserve instance where you save 75%. Okay. In addition, when reserve instance are assigned to a specific AZ, that is availability zone, they provide a capacity reservation, giving you additional confidence in your ability to launch instances when you need them. So as and when you need the instances to shoot up, or the requirement erupts, so at that time you can keep on launching instance and ensure that it meets your performance needs. Okay. Next is, see, reserve instances, where are they recommended? The applications that have a predictable usage, please have this as a mark for this. Predictable usage is you're gauging the traffic to be within that range. So traffic has to be predictable, because reserve instances can provide significant savings compared to on-demand instances. Okay, next point is application with steady state usage. Okay. Next, application that may require reserved capacity. Okay, customers that can commit to using EC2 over 1 or 3 years term to reduce their total computing cost. So first you need to have a predictable traffic or the usage, and have it for a period of 1 to 3 years, and it is of course cost saving too. Okay, reserve instance, where are they recommended? As we have discussed earlier, this is same. These are the same points that we have written in a little easy manner. Okay, what is on-demand instances? With on-demand instances, you pay for compute capacity on hourly basis, or the second depending on which instances you run. No longer term commitments or upfront payments are needed. You can increase or decrease your capacity, that is compute capacity, depending on the demand of your applications, and pay only for the hourly basis. Okay, so it's basically time based payment. Okay, so where are they recommended? Users that prefer the low cost and flexibility of EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud, without any upfront payment or long term commitment. It's not the commitment which you make it for 1 year or 3 years. It's for a short term duration. Applications with short term, spiky or unpredictable workload. See, earlier one we had discussed about predictable workload. Here, unpredictable workload which may increase or decrease. Please have one thing in mind. If workload increases, you're charged more, and if workload decreases, when you're using less resources, you're charged less for that. Applications being developed or tested on Amazon EC2 for the first time. Preferably go for on demand if you are using the applications for first time. Okay, what is spot instance? Amazon EC2 spot instances allow you to request spare Amazon EC2 computing capacity for up to 90% off the on-demand price. So spot instances are reasonable. So you got to think. One more thing, again I repeat, if it's cost saving 90%, but it should match your need, it should cater the services that you need, and it should match up to your mark, else you're going to suffer. Very simple. So spot instances are recommended for apps that have flexible start and end time. So it's not a fixed time where you define the period. So it's flexible. Okay, applications that are only feasible at very low compute price. This is for low end applications which doesn't consume a lot of resources. So why do you land up paying more? You got to pay at the lower price. So applications that are feasible at low compute prices. User with urgent computing needs for large amount of additional capacity. If you have large amount of capacity, or if there's urgent need, then you go for spot instances. Out here we are on the aws.amazon.com/ec2/pricing on demand. I've taken you directly to the Amazon page, and it's 2020, that is 9/18/2020. This is the latest price which is there on Amazon. Please keep one thing in mind. Whenever you're trying to quote or trying to see the prices, look at the current prices, because prices do vary once in 6 months or any specified period which Amazon says. It is without any notice. So that you need to have in mind. So we are on the Amazon page directly. You can see out here, see virtual CPU. So this is GP, that is general purpose current generation, A1 dot medium. I'm going in for 1 vCPU with 2 GB RAM, elastic block storage only. I'm going to use Linux or Unix usage. So the cost is 0.0255 per hour. So have this in mind. These are the charges if I use 1 vCPU. Can I go for higher end? Yes, of course. There's A1.4 extra large, 16 vCPUs with 32 GB RAM, elastic block storage only, $0.408 per hour. These are the charges, and you have out here, you can see on demand pricing, data transfer charges are different. So first let's have this at the basic level. This is the sheet that you see right in front of you on the Amazon page directly. So there are many instances with different purpose. Please remember, you got to choose subject to requirement. So there are compute based instances, that is C6G dot medium, and all this, it will cost you about $0.034 an hour. So this is about AWS price, which you can see. Let's check with Microsoft. Microsoft virtual machines are different, but remember, whenever you compare the virtual machine from Amazon to Microsoft, it doesn't mean if it's more reasonable compared to AWS it's good. Have a priority for your performance. Performance should be the priority when you cater the client. Out here you see from Microsoft, general purpose hyphen AV2, cost effective. These are used for low and medium performance. Virtual machine offers a low cost option for development and test purpose environment, low traffic websites and web applications, microservices in small databases. So these are the specs. You have A1 V2 with 1 vCPU, 2 GB RAM, starting from $0.3305 per hour. So this has to be very clear. Then there are other options also: raw compute power, balanced CPU and memory optimized virtual machines. So each one has a price. So this is about $0.6742 an hour, $0.8263 an hour, $1.0576 an hour. So this is about Microsoft. Next is, let's check with Google Cloud. Out here you can say cloud.google.com/compute/VM instance hyphen pricing. So this is the item that we are looking for. Predefined vCPU, on demand price $0.021811 per vCPU per hour. Have this in mind. So next is promotable price, that is $0.006543 per vCPU per hour. In case you want to go in for a year long-term commitment, for a 1 year commitment, it would cost you about $0.013741 per vCPU per hour, and 3 years, this is the price. So you got to choose which is not reasonable only. You got to choose the performance too. Hope it was informative. Thank you very much. If you have any queries pertaining to this, kindly mail me across at s110abbas@gmail.com. Thank you and welcome.